Shirk, as we will see inshallah in today's readings, is something where a person has contradicted those three aspects of Tawheed, because those are that which is specific to Allah. Rububiyyah, Uluhiyyah, Asma' wa Sifat. If a person has contradicted it, has he left the fold of Islam? Maybe is the question. The reason why we say maybe is because shirk is of two categories. Shirk al-Akbar and Shirk al-Asghar. Akbar is disbelief or polytheism which exits a person outside the fold of Islam. Whereas the Asghar form, which is the lower, as the ulama have explained, keeps a person inside the fold of Islam, but that person is on a level where he is doing major sin, not like major sin, but major sin. To the point that some of the scholars have said, well, all shirk, inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bih. If the person has done shirk, Allah will not forgive it. The ayah says shirk. So some of the ulama have even said that even if you've done a minor form of shirk, you'll be in the hellfire forever if you died upon that without making tawbah. May Allah protect us. Whereas the majority of the ulama have said no, Allah will not forgive the major form of shirk, whereas the minor form of shirk is on a level of major sin. And if a person was to meet Allah with that minor form, then he is under the will of Allah. Either Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him, but not the punishment of eternity of the people of major shirk. Right. What's the difference now between major and minor? The ulama have said there are about 4 or 5 things, and we don't have time for a detailed study of the book. Inshallah. But the way that we can differentiate between major and minor is going back to that definition. If you have transgressed against something which is from the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is major shirk, if you want to call it major kufr as well. Some of the ulama have said there is no difference between kufr and shirk, whereas what seems to be more correct is kufr, where a person rejects, turns away, doubts, has hypocrisy, belittles. All of these are forms of kufr, and we will see that in our readings, inshallah. Whereas shirk is where a person either equates or supersedes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is just an example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me, Tawheed. But I also believe in the theory of evolution, that I came perhaps from nothing. I believe in the first man, but as for me, after that, maybe I came from apes. Is that shirk or not shirk? Major, why? Because a right of Allah is that He creates. This is from the Rububiyyah, we've just established that. But what He's done here is that I believe in Allah, but He's equated that with Allah. So He's saying this is the same as Allah. Na'udhu billah. This is why you find in most of the translations of the Quran and Hadith, etc., shirk is to associate partners with Allah. What does that mean? Meaning, this is the right of Allah, and I've given that same right to something else I've associated. Shirk, major, outside the fold of Islam. However, if the person, and then obviously if he supersedes it, then that's clear shirk. Like if a person says, I don't believe in Allah, na'udhu billah, and I believe in rububiyyah given to Mother Nature, for example, or the universe, for example, or such and such idol, I'm going to worship that idol. I don't believe in God, I want to just get closer to that idol. That's clear. The person doesn't believe in Allah at all. So then he has given the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to something completely other than Him subhanahu. But if a person then, like we have just said, and I just want to say this one more time, and I know this is probably clear to you all, but it's very important. But if a person has gone against the command of Allah, but he hasn't gone against something which is specific to him, then he hasn't made shirk. He's disobeyed. Right. So that's major. He's gone against 1, 2, or 3 when it comes to the rights of Allah. As for minor, then the scholars have said minor kufr, minor shirk, is that the person has made a cause what is not a cause. There's an example here in chapter number 6, but I'll bring that forward now so that we can understand this point here. Many people, na'udhu billah, they wear amulets, they have bracelets, they have rings. You go into the house, it's like a chart. So he asked him, Akhi, why do you have this? Either for the purpose of bringing blessings, or for the purpose of repelling some kind of evil, or for the purpose of protection. So now, here, this is shirk. But what kind of shirk? If he believes that this ring itself, or this string itself, has the almighty ability to protect me, is that major or minor? Major. Why? Because he has made it rububiyyah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a string. But when does it become minor? He's got the string on. Akhi, why are you wearing a string? Because I believe that through Allah, protection will come as long as I'm wearing this string, or this ring, or this chart on the wall. There's something here that I've seen in Luton that I've not actually seen in Leicester, I don't think. But people actually put ta'weezes on their cars. I've not seen that before in Leicester. Not that I know of it, not that I've noticed, but I've seen this thing dangling in front. What is this? Somebody told me it's a ta'weez. They put a tamima on the car to protect the car from evil eye. So the one brother I was with, he said, why don't you just put Zamzam in the radiator instead? I'll be... طيب. So now here, minor. Why is it minor? He's still a Muslim. Because the things which are fundamental to his belief of Tawheed is still with Allah. Allah is my Lord, I worship Him, names and attributes. But he has got this string and this superstition or this cause which is not a cause, and he's connected to the string. That now becomes minor shirk or minor kufr. Is he a Muslim? Yes, he is a Muslim. Do you give him salam? Yes. Do you pray behind him? Debatable. Do you eat his meat? Yes. If he invites you, do you go? Yes. He's your family relative. Weddings, any kind of ruling that you can think about when it comes to interaction with Muslims, he's still a Muslim. But that person, very dangerous grounds. Very, very dangerous ground. And this is the reason why we're studying this book. This book here, really, if you understand La ilaha illallah, this is either your salvation in the life of this dunya before the akhirah, or you've got the answer wrong. Every single one of us is going to be asked to man Rabbuk. There's no doubt about that. What is your tawheed? What do you believe in? If you get it right here, then you can get it right in the way. This is why many of the ulama, the salaf, they have said, Inna fi dunya jannah. In this dunya there is a jannah. Man lam yadkhulaha fi dunya lam yadkhulaha fi al-akhirah. If you don't enter that Jannah already exists in the life of this dunya. If you don't enter into that Jannah in the life of this dunya, you will not enter into Jannah in the akhirah. What is the Jannah of the dunya? There's no other salvation. There is no other sweetness. Wallahi, it's going to come point in your life where food is just food, drink is just drink, clothes is just clothes, money is just money. What is there in this dunya after that? This is the sweetness.